What's happening, troops? Welcome back to another video here on the SharpDiv YouTube channel. Rangers and Celtic are the Champions League level teams. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel as we try and push towards the next milestone of 20,000 subscribers. Also, we'll stick a wee like target on today's video of 300. I think that's doable. In the last decade, Rangers have been completely absent from the Champions League. I feel like I was about 5 the last time that we competed in that tournament due to all the troubles that we have went through, and Celtic are really struggling to try and even get into the group stages. In the 2018-19 season, Celtic went out 3-2 to AEK Athens. 2019-20, 5-4 out to Cluj, and now the one that was very recent and probably the worst out of the lot, 2-1 versus Ferenc. Jesus Christ, I can't say it. 2-1 versus Ferencváros. Now, before I do get right into all of my opinions, I have went to the liberty and reaching out to some people outside the old firm bubble to get their opinions on it. And Jack.
Right, hello, my name is Alex Griffin. Thank you, SharpDiv, for having me on the channel. Now, I've been asked to answer a little question. Now, I do apologise for the car noises because I live next to the road, but Rangers Celtic, are they good enough to be in the group stages of the Champions League? Now, my answer from an English football fan is yes, completely. Rangers, obviously being in the Europa League last year, they smashed it, they did really well. However, they did go out against Bayer Leverkusen, I believe. And Celtic, obviously, we know what they're like. They win the Scottish Premier League most years. But in terms to the question, yes, both teams are good enough to be in the Champions League group stages. Even the round of 16, I think. You know, they're both massive clubs. They both battle it out in the Scottish Premier League for the top position. So yeah, I think they are both capable of being in the Champions League. Yeah, definitely, mate. I'm on the Jazz.
Be nice to Alex. Obviously, we've gave a lot of criticism to the English football game, but he's an Ipswich fan, so I think he's still quite rooted. Get a really good YouTube channel as well, which will be in the description if you want to check him out. Thanks for getting involved, mate. Very interesting to get the perspective of an English football fan. For a wee second there, when I was watching that video, I thought he was going to say that we weren't good enough and I would have had to just unsubscribe from his channel. However, he backed us up to the hill and even gave us a wee moan the Jers at the end, which was absolutely class. What stood out to me was the fact that he said that he thinks that we could potentially get to the last 16 down the line, and why not? It's happened in the past, so why no push for that in the next 10 years or so when we're able to get back into the Champions League and start to establish ourselves as a European unit. If you look at Rangers in the UEFA coefficient table, they currently sit in 94th position. Obviously, that has been impacted hugely with the fact that we haven't been in European competition for a long time, up until the last few seasons. But if you look at the teams that Rangers have bet, it's really impressive. Just last season, Rangers defeated Legia Warsaw, who are 91st, Feyenoord, who are 90th, Braga 37th, and Porto 19th in the coefficient table. Now that's some feat for a team that are barely in the top 100. Celtic are also ranked 48th in the coefficient table, and they managed to pick up victories versus Lazio that are just above them in 38th. I think it's fair to say that Celtic have not been fully pulling their weight in the Champions League. If you look at some of the teams that have been around them that consistently seem to make the Champions League all the time, you've got Anderlecht, who are in 43rd position in the coefficient table. You've got Dynamo Zagreb, who are in 49th. Therefore, it can't be a real excuse that we don't have the budgets that these other teams have got, because look at those teams, they're making it year in, year out. The last thing we want is to start adapting an attitude where you think that your club isn't good enough to at least get to the group stages, when there's clubs like that are in there every single year. Now, if we're going to speak about some of the teams that we have beaten above us in the table, it's only fair to mention that Celtic, of course, went out to Ferencváros that aren't even in the top 100. That has got to go down as a poor result, even for Celtic standards in the competition in the last few years.
Alright, Jack here. I was going to give my quick opinion on the whole Rangers and Celtic in the Champions League thing. For me personally, I think since Rangers have been down, Celtic haven't put enough money into the team, and they haven't really focused in the Champions League. They've tried and they've been destroyed every single time they've tried. And then once we've came back, it's kind of been more of a priority that we are back now, because they're like, we can do both and stuff like that. Whereas Rangers are still trying to get back up to grips with things. I still think Rangers and Celtic their best hope is maybe getting into the groups. I don't see it getting any further than that at this point. Like back in the day when Celtic were beating Barcelona and stuff like that, and we're getting to the last 16. For me, the most kind of realistic route, if Champions League is involved, is get to the groups and possibly finish third and then get a good run in the Europa League. But as far as Champions League is concerned, I think the quality is just too high for Rangers or Celtic right now. But we will get there in about 5 to 6 years, maybe. Don't know. Maybe sooner, maybe later. Who knows? Cheers.
Thank you, Jack, for your opinions. If you've not met Jack yet, then you've not been watching the Nay First Touch podcast. The last one went down really, really well, and we thank you for all your support. But if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to leave a link up here for you to watch after this video. Watch this, it'll be up there or something, won't it? Jesus. Historically, the Old Firm have had some of the best nights of their history in the Champions League. Of course, more recently, Celtic versus cash-rich Manchester City. Celtic versus Messi's Barcelona. Of course, Rangers and Celtic's successes versus United. Not to mention one of my favourite results, although an 0-0 draw, versus Ronaldinho's Barcelona at Ibrox 0-0. Remember the save onto the crossbar that everybody thought was just a crossbar? Nah. And that's just to name a few. There is many, many more. Some of the biggest footballing icons of all time have weighed in on their opinions of Rangers and Celtic, and here is just a couple of them. The games against Celtic were special, and I want to remember them. Celtic Park is a tough place to go. It's never easy to get a result there. It is the best atmosphere in Europe, and we want to experience that again. Lionel Messi. I've played in England, and I don't think that any stadium in the Premiership can compare with Ibrox for its intimidating atmosphere. It is far above them. Didier Drogba. Talking about a football league that looks down in Scottish football and saying that Ibrox was way above any atmosphere that they have down there. Now, there will be an argument that Rangers and Celtic are Champions League worthy clubs, but are they Champions League worthy teams? And for me, if you look at the teams that are consistently now making the Champions League group stages, yes, absolutely. And you should not be conceding the fact that you're not, just because of a few bad seasons, just because Rangers haven't been in the competition for a long time. We should not be looking at ourselves and saying, aye, we could just play in the Europa League. Aye, when we go into the Europa League, we might be able to go in a better run, because when you look at the budgets, they're absolutely dwarfing those of Scotland. However, some of the teams that I'm just about to discuss, we should be competing. According to Sportex.com, Celtic have got a 60 million per annum budget, Rangers 42.5, Club Brugge 33.2, Anderlecht 50 million, and FC Basel 44.3. Celtic have a higher budget than every single one of those teams when it comes to wages, but they're just not living up to their expectations right now. I don't know if it's the players, I don't know if it's the mindset, but surely, if you're a Celtic fan also watching this video, you've got to be expecting better. Come on, when you look at those teams, and FC Basel, I mean, they're in all the time. It's a chance for you to put your club in the map, to put massive finances into your club, over £30 million just for getting into the group stages. And the long-term effect of not making Champions League will be detrimental to any Scottish club. That's why Rangers are striving so much to get back there. Not to mention, when you make the group stages, it lures in way better players. Much better players will come to your club just to play in those massive matches. And then the players that you've got are going to be playing against teams that aren't as good as the standard of Champions League. Therefore, their development is surely going to be hindered, and their values are surely going to be less. So in conclusion, if you look at those teams that are making the Champions League year on year, Rangers and Celtic should be there. Absolutely 100% should be in the group stages. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.